Good Saturday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk Live here on the LTL Media channel. I hope everybody's having an amazing Saturday thus far. I wanted to kind of pull away a little bit from the Karen Reed case today and highlight a case that's grabbing some attention here in my local area. I was past this story a couple of days ago from Fall River reporter Jess Machado. And I looked at the article, I read it over, and just something seemed very, very weird and fishy about this case. So I wanted to come in here and talk today about Jacob Pothier. So let me just read a little bit of a summary here of what you're going to hear today. And again, it's just really highlighting this case. It's the first time I've really, delved into it here. And I'm going to use a lot of source material through Jess's article. She passed me a lot of articles to read on air today. So we'll go through them a little bit. Probably not a super long stream, but I know that Jess said that in the future, she definitely wants to jump on and talk to me about this case. And I'm really curious about it because there's some really crazy things that have happened. So let me read through this summary here. I'm going to try to do my best. I cannot find my glasses right now. I've either lost them or they're at work somewhere. So let's get into this. So here's a deeply distressing story out of New Bedford, Massachusetts. The recent developments involve the tragic death of an 18-year-old Jacob Pothier and allegations against a local high school that have shaken the community to its core. In January 2024, Jacob Pothier died in a single car crash on, I think it's Pothier Bridge in Dartmouth, and I probably have that wrong, and I know the people that probably live in Dartmouth are going to me for that one, but his death is now prompt to a state to take legal action against the Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School. Say that 5 million times fast. Tongue twister. The estate's attorney has issued a precedent letter alleging that the school and its administrators failed to protect Jacob from the inappropriate and alleged sexual relationship with Kathleen Martins, a former security officer at the school. The precedent letter, in which is a preliminary step before filing a civil lawsuit, claims that the school was negligent in its duty to safeguard Jacob from the relationship. Martins, who resigned from her position in March of 2024, was the only survivor of the crash, which led to a series of legal and investigative complications. Jacob's family revealed that the relationship between him and Martins began while he was a student and continued up until the crash. They claimed that Jacob had confided in his sibling about this relationship, and his sister reported to the school authorities in early 2023. Despite this, Martins remained employed at the school until her resignation shortly after Jacob's death. The VOTEC superintendent, Michael Watson, has stated that the schools take allegations of inappropriate behavior seriously, but has not commented specifically on this case. The school has 6 months to respond to the precedent letter, which could lead to further legal action. The situation is further complicated by Massachusetts laws. While Jacob was 16 at the time and an age deemed capable of consent in the state, child advocates have criticized this as a consent loophole. They argue that the laws in the state criminalizing such conduct by school staff, regardless of the student's age, offer more robust protections. In addition to the legal battles, the crash itself remains under investigation. Reports indicate that Jacob had a blood alcohol level slightly elevated, the legal limit, though it's unclear whether Martins was under the influence. The crash resulted in several injuries for Martins, who is now required a conservator of financial and medical decisions. Jacob's family is left grappling to their grief and the pursuit of justice. They are determined to ensure that Jacob's death leads to meaningful change and that the similar tragedies are prevented in the future. So that's a little bit of a summary of what you're going to hear today. What you're going to hear today. And let me just pull up this video that dropped back in January of this year, just right after the accident. It's a very quick 30-second clip of what happened. And let me pull this up here and we'll play through it. Here we go.
And another deadly crash, this one across the state in Dartmouth. It was a single car crash that happened over the weekend. Police responded to that scene around 10:30 Friday night, where first responders found a man and a woman had been ejected from their car and were lying unresponsive on the road. Both victims were taken to a local hospital. That's where 18-year-old Jacob Pothier of New Bedford was pronounced dead. 44-year-old Kathleen Martins of Dartmouth suffered life-threatening injuries and remains in critical condition. That crash is now being investigated by both local and state police.
All right, so we had a little bit of a news report there. And I'm going to read through some articles here. Just hang on one second. Just clean this up here. So Jess passed me a bunch of articles. And again, I'm just getting familiar with this. I can't wait to get Jess on and talk about this. So she has a report here that after the initial crash and the investigation, she did some investigating here. This is from Jess Machado, the talented Jess Machado. So from the Fall River Report, second individual in crash that killed high school student was former employee of New Bedford Vo-Tech. It goes on to say, from Jess Machado, Fall River Reporter has learned that the second individual identified in the crash that killed New Bedford teenager Jacob Pothier was a former employee of a school where Pothier attended. After denying requests for an interview, Greater New Bedford Regional Vo-Tech School Superintendent Michael Watson argued to answer questions via email regarding Kathleen Martins, the second individual found at the scene of the car accident that killed Pothier on January 5th earlier this month. It's about like 2 weeks later, this report. Martin's vehicle was found in an area of Gulf Road in Dartmouth, heavily damaged just after 10:30 p.m. Both Pothier and Martins were found outside the vehicle, unresponsive, and were transported to St. Luke's Hospital, where Pothier was pronounced dead. It is unclear if Martins is still being treated. Superintendent Watson replied to our request, and you're going to love this too. Wait till you see the request letter, the response from the Freedom of Information Act. Let's see. Superintendent Watson replied to our request for more information and confirmed that Martins was an employee as a security officer at GNBVT from August 23rd, 2021 till March 6, 2023, where she resigned. So I'm going to backtrack. I said 2024 in March, and I apologize. It was 2023. And you can see here, Jess Machado asking a question. Good evening. This is January 16th, 2024. Thank you for your questions. This is in response to Jess's question. I can confirm that Kathleen Martins was employed as a security officer at GNVBT from August 2023 to August 23rd, 2021 until March 6, 2023, when she resigned. Beyond that, I must advise you that the Greater New Bedford Tech does not comment on individual personal matters involving past or present employees. We also cannot not talk about our individual students. It says questions surrounding Martin's work history, including any complaints that were filed against Martins, were not answered. Watson stated that the Greater New Bedford Tech does not comment. I just read that. Fall River Reporter submitted a formal request for Martin's complete personal file, as well as all emails related to Martins. Under the Freedom of Information Act, on January 17th, we received correspondence from the law firm of Norris, Murray, and Palanquin, LLC, indicating that they were representing the GNBVT and their intention to fulfill the FOIA request in accordance with the Mass Public School Records. Now watch this. The firm also attached a good faith estimate of $825 in order to complete the request. The Fall River Reporter has appealed that amount to the Massachusetts Secretary of State Office for Public Records. And I'll tell you, I've done FOIA requests in the past. And they usually like $50, $80. You'll get a loaded disc, with all the files on them, or just processing fees, $50, $80. It's about what I've spent on a FOIA request. So $825. What are they hiding here at $825? You can see here, this is the attorney's letter. I'm not going to read through the entire thing, but it was answered to Jess Machado. And we'll go here to the end of the article. Let's see. I think that's just that sums up this article here. All right, let's move on to to the next in the series of her reporting, and we'll go to this article here. So this is in May. Let me see. I just want to make sure I have these all lined up properly, and I do. Good. So let's see. So Jess comes back around on May 29, 2024. Investigation into death of New Bedford student Jacob Pothier still open and active. So just keeping that story alive out there. That's great. The investigation into the death of Greater New Bedford Vocational Technical High School, that's such a long name for a high school, student Jacob Pothier continues, according to Bristol County District Attorney's Office. Greg, I think it's Milido, I probably have that wrong, Director of Communications for the DA's office, confirmed the case is still open, and further conversations with another member of the DA's office said that the case is very much active. This is back in May of this year. 18-year-old Pothier was killed in a car crash in Dartmouth back in January. The second occupant of the vehicle, Kathleen Martins, was injured in the crash. Unconfirmed reports indicated Pothier was a driver of the vehicle belonging to Martins, and the connection was unclear. So they say. But working off a tip, Fall River Reporter put in a records request for Greater New England Bedford Voc Tech and confirmed that Martins was a former employee of the school during the time that Pothier attended. In an email to the correspondent Jess Machado, Superintendent Michael Watson shared the following. We've already read through this email before. So for the next several months, Machado fought with the school district for a fair access to Martin's personal file. Good on you, Jess. Excellent. Including all correspondence with Watson and others regarding Martins. The school district, through attorneys, attached thousands of dollars in fees to requests to prevent access. Gee, wonder what they're hiding here, right, folks? I wonder what they're hiding. The school district attorney attached $1,000, and he says, and look at this. To date, the district has racked up over $5,000 in attorney's fees to fight access, which is still in the appeals process. Whoa. Let me just get this up real quick. Sydney, thank you so much. 16-month member. Look at this. 16 months supporter. OG says, Brian, glad you're accomplishing your dreams. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So it goes up to, says, to date, the district has racked up over $5,000 in attorney's fees to fight access, which is still in the appeals process. Machado will be speaking about this story in a Spaces, which is, it's essentially Spaces. If people don't know, it's on Twitter or X. And essentially what you can do is you can go into a chat room. It's kind of like a YouTube video like this, but there's no video. You just talk, and the community can come in and listen. They're actually pretty good. It just does great ones. All right, let's go up to her next article here. And again, I just want to, oh, you wait, Kate. It gets even crazier. Wait. Yep, they are, Jeffrey. And you're gonna see it here. Give it a moment. When we get to the last article, you're gonna see what's going on here. And again, not a super long live, just a spotlight today. I'm still learning about this case. I'm very much interested in it. Jess been digging into this for over close to 8 months. And she said that she would, she's actually at New Kids on the Block tonight. So she said, anytime going forward, we'll line something up, have her come into the studio and she can talk about this. And I do know that someone from, that is friends with a family member of Pothier actually reached out to me and was passing on the information that I was talking about this on my channel tonight to the family. So I just want to put this out there. If anybody in Jacob's family would ever like to use my platform, voice your concerns, or talk about Jacob and his story and his case, you have the platform. Just reach out to me, and we can make that happen. So, and I definitely want to have Jess part of that because she deserves this spotlight, and I wanted to get this out here. I mean, like I said, she passed me the article, so definitely wanted to get into this and said that I wanted to work with her in the future. She's great. She's a great panel guest and a great reporter. All right, so this is back on May 31st, 2024. I'm going to read it from the big screen so I can see it because I don't have my glasses. But New Bedford Voc Tech has spent thousands in legal fees to fight access to public records related to student killed in January. All right, let's scroll down here and read through the article. Earlier this week, we reported that an investigation in the death of, of Jacob Pothier. I'm just going to skip through instead of reading through the long school name. Student is still open and active. But Fall River Reporter has also learned that the school used its legal team to seamlessly prevent Fall River Reporter from gaining access to personal files related to a former employee who was in the car with the student, Jacob Pothier, when it crashed in January, killing Pothier. Pothier, then 18 and a student of the high school, was found outside a crashed 2022 Honda Accord in the area of Gulf Road in Dartmouth this past January. 44-year-old Kathleen Martins of Dartmouth was also found outside the car on site. Excuse me, I'm going to get a sip of water here. Pothier died as a result of his injuries, and Martins was critically injured. You can see this photo of them there together. The city of New Bedford issued a statement in the weeks after the accident when rumors began to circulate online about a connection between Pothier and Martins. Despite a statement from New Bedford VOC Superintendent Michael Watson about the death of Pothier, Watson failed to mention that Martins herself was a former employee of the high school. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. So the cover-up begins. Fall River Reporter learned that Martins was employed at the New Bedford VOC Tech after a tip from a former student. We sent an email to Watson, who also confirmed that Martin was employed as a security officer at the high school from August 23rd, 2021 until March 6th, 2023, when she resigned. We have the email that we've seen in a couple articles before. In the effort to learn more about Martins and her time working at New Bedford VOC Tech, Fall River Reporter submitted 2 record requests to the school district, one for personal file of Martins and the second for all emails regarding Martins in the weeks after the accident. Rather than comply with the request for information, the school district enlisted a services of Norris Murray Palaquin LLC attorneys at law who in turn attempt to charge reporter fees totaling over $1,000 in order to meet the request of the information. Fall River Reporter submitted an appeal with the Secretary of the Commonwealth, which the school continued to fight. In the meantime, we submitted a request for the documents detailing how much of the school has paid to fight us for requests for these public records. In an email response from the school district, the district revealed that to date, they have spent close to $5,000 in legal fees in their effort to prevent the case of access to public records. And you can see that here. March 22nd, 2024, please accept this letter in response to your public records request, in which the district received via electronic mail on March 7, 2024, your request seek to following information. Total cost provided to your district, including your school committee and its members of law firm. Let's see, a copy of the invoices, copy of payments remitted. In the absence of any of the records, we'd like to request good faith estimate associated with the law. And no responsive documents exist. We're just seeing here the fees. Look at this. Oh my God, January, $2,990. February, $805. In March is an estimate at $920. This is insane. Tell me they're not hiding something here. Unreal. We intend to start a new set of requests for information related to the case in the near future. In the meantime, if you have any information related to the story, you may email us at fallriverreport.com. Wow. All right. Now it's going to get really spicy. This is the latest article that Jess Machado actually forwarded me the other day. And let's get into this one here. Look at this. Look at this. August 8th, 2024. Family of Jacob Pothier says his phone is missing after accident that killed him in January. A legal letter serving as a notice to a lawsuit filed by the family of the 18-year-old Jacob Pothier claims that the inappropriate relationship between the Greater New Bedford VOC Greater New Bedford Vocational Technical High School, I should just say GNBVT, it's a lot easier, student and the school's 44-year-old security officer, Kathleen Martins, was ignored by the school. On January 6, 2024, the two would be involved in a serious car accident that resulted in the death of Jacob and serious injuries to Martins. We just say Votech here? Yeah, I just gonna say Voc. Last month, New Bedford Light reported the Pothier's family took legal action against GNBVT for failure to protect Jacob in an inappropriate and sexual relationship they said that Pothier had with Martins for years. Attorneys for the school have yet to reply to the letter sent by Pothier's family attorney and former New Bedford Mayor Scott Lang. The police and the GNBVT leadership aren't very forthcoming with details, as now Jacob Pothier's phone, which could contain critical information about the alleged inappropriate relationship, is missing or damaged under unusual circumstances. Fall River Reporter was the first to report that Martins was a former security officer at GNBVT while Pothier was a student. Martins had resigned from her position in 2023. After we sent an email to the office, Superintendent Michael Watson confirmed that Martins was a former employee. GNBVT issued a statement on the accident and death of Pothier in the days after the accident, but failed to mention Martins in the letter. Wow. We recently reported that the investigation into the accident and Pothier's death was still open and active, but family members of Jacob Pothier said that the state police investigation and the accident have not returned Jacob's phone to them. Gee! Where have we heard about funny business with phones before? What cases have we heard about that? Oh my God. Stacy Pothier, Jacob's mother, told Fall River Reporter that the night her son was killed, siblings of Jacob used their phone to check his phone location and determine the phone was pinging at 42 Quampapog Road in East Freetown. The family provided a screenshot of his location as they saw it that night, and here is that screenshot. Jacob's mother states that the family reached out to Massachusetts State Director Robert Twitchell, heard that name before, who was responsible for her son's case. She states that she told them that 42 Quampanoag Road was the location where the vehicle had been towed from the scene in Dartmouth, and that he would retrieve the phone the following morning. Big Wheel Towing and Recovery is a business located at that address where Martin's car was indeed towed after the crash. Excuse me. The next morning, Jacob's phone location was no longer available and showing no location found. You can see the screenshot here. Stacy Pothier tells us that soon after she spoke to Twitchell, and he confirmed with her that he was unable to secure the phone from the vehicle. Pothier said Twitchell told her that he was going to take the phone back to the station and do a data dump and would call her in a few days so she could pick up the phone, but she never heard back. Yeah, look the other way. I mean, again, another Mass State Police scandal. Another Mass State Police scandal. It doesn't stop. It just never stops. Approximately 10 days later, Pothier reached out to the state police, who told her they did not have the phone. She said then she spoke with Twitchell, who told her that he did not have the phone and did not know where the phone was. The phone that contained critical information regarding any alleged inappropriate relationship with a student and a security officer had completely disappeared. Wow. Jacob's sister, Tiffany Pothier, confirmed with Fall River Reporter that Twitchell came by her mother's home and told them that the phone was most likely destroyed and pieces of the phone were swept up in the debris from the scene. Tiffany said it just didn't make any sense. I felt like I was at a hearing. What I was hearing was from a movie. How is this happening? She said. Tiffany Pothier shared that she said her mother met with someone at the Bristol County District Attorney's Office, and they confirmed that the phone was not with the Mass State Police. I got upset. Quote, I got upset. I swore. But do I say? They are police officers from the district attorneys. I couldn't say anything. According to Stacey Pothier, no one in their family has ever been questioned in the investigation to this day. Wow. Tiffany Pothier said that she went to the school administration and told them her brother was having a sexual relationship with Martins. Quote, my brother wanted to end it, and I know he said he was going to do it on his own time, but I had a bad feeling about Martins, so I told the school myself. Tiffany said that the school first said they needed proof before they took any action, and after Martins resigned, they told her that they had fired her. Quote, they said they had fired her, but only later I did find out that they had let her resign. They lied. Excuse me. Fall River Report also reached out to Dartmouth Police Department for a statement on the investigation, but we're told that the matter is in the hands of the Massachusetts State Police. Of course. Of course it's in the hands of the Mass State Police. Unreal. So says, after speaking with the family, we reached out for an interview with the Mass State Police, Robert Twitchell, but we're told that Twitchell had been reassigned, and the reassignment had nothing to do with the investigation. Sure. Massachusetts State Police would not confirm who is now the lead investigator in the case, and that as an open investigation that they cannot comment. We reached out to Bristol County District Attorney's Office before going to print with the story, and we're told that there were no new reports, and that we were hoping to finalize. They had nothing new to report, and they were hoping to finalize their investigation soon. Fall River Reporter has been working towards transparency in this story since the Pothier's death in January. Multiple police records requests to the GNBVT for emails related to Pothier and Martin's personal file have been met with responses from a law firm representing the school district preventing access. To date, GNBVT has spent thousands of dollars in appeals process, which were wrote about several months ago. 2 weeks ago, we submitted our latest request for the letter to the school district to serve as by Pothier's family from their attorney. And just today, we received yet again another letter from the law firm of Norris, Murray, and Palaquin, LLC, denying our requests. And you can see that letter here. And I'll drop this article if you want to read through. And that's it. Wow. So I definitely want to have Jess on the show, have her talk about this. You know, I look at the situation. Was there an argument in the car that night? Did Martins, pull the wheel or something like that? It seemed that they're saying that Jacob was driving. If that's the case, were they having an argument in the car, or, we really don't know. And, having a phone and having an available phone in this particular situation would be very critical. I mean, you can use that to geofence. You can locate where people were that night, what they were doing that night. It would tell a lot about that situation, and this would help with, the family getting truth. And, any type of text messages, emails that were going on back and forth to Martins and Jacob. So it would be very critical. And I find it funny now that all of a sudden, when this is all starting to come out and be, let out to the public in the deeper investigation, again, we're back in a scandal with the Mass State Police losing a phone, saying that they don't have it and they don't know where it is. And the local police, the Dartmouth police, is saying, oh yeah, well, we're hoping to finalize a report soon, but basically the case is in the hands of the Mass State Police, so you're going to have to talk to them. I think it's a little interesting as well, too, as every request for information via the Fall River Reporter, that they keep getting a letter back from the school's attorneys denying their request. So what are we hiding here? What is the bigger picture? I would love to know more about this case. So I'll drop the article here. If you want to go back, you can just go right to Fall River Reporter and probably just type in Jacob Pothier and you'll get all the information there. But I hope that I can get Jess on the channel here pretty soon and talk about this. And again, my platform is open. So if anybody from the family is watching this and they would like to talk about Jacob's case, I'd love to have you here on LTL and use this as a platform. And I'd love to include Jess Machado in this because she's done such an excellent job advocating for Jacob and reporting on this case. So again, short stream tonight. Just wanted to highlight this case. I appreciate everybody jumping in quick on this Saturday night. I look forward to doing more on Jacob's case and see what we can dig into and get the truth to the surface and help get some closure to this case and get some answers, because this family needs answers. The bottom line is there's being information that's being hidden here, and we need to find out what it is. So appreciate everybody jumping in. I really appreciate that. We'll keep doing some more lives on this case, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Have an amazing Saturday. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.